Hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ, and today we end our Armchair Futurist Series where, well, I get to talk about AI as something where we debate a point of view that I found on the interwebs about our relationship with these new AI systems. And we're going to end it with the debate or I'm going to try to argue my position as AI is just a tool that is not much more than that. That it's not um, it's not us creating a deity, a godlike figure. It's not us setting the fuse for a bomb that's going to go off and destroy humanity. That it's not the the great thing that will bring about a utopia. That it's just a tool and not much more than that. And it's the tool we didn't ask for in the manner that we have it, but it exists. And so, more on a pragmatic level, that it's just a tool that will be accessible to those who have the ability to use it. And of course, it will be like any resource that we have here in our world, that it will be used and abused by those who have the ability to control such a vital element, and then our relationship with those agents that have the ability to control our access to such a thing. But yeah, it's basically a tool. But guys, this Armchair Futurist is going to drink a libation before we get into it, but it's also time for you to put your feet up, grab your snacks, and do so as we get past the intro and get into our debate about AI. It's basically just a tool and not much else. Hello again, everyone. Ooh, that's a weird reflection there. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ, and normally we talk about tabletop role-playing games, but in our situation, we're going to end this. We did this for 2 weeks. Honestly, this is our 10th episode, where we go into our armchair futurism hat. We put that on, and I take the position. Today, we're taking the position of AI as a tool and not much more than that. And I feel like the companies, or the heads of those companies that are producing all of these AI tools, are, I believe they're overhyping a thing. Yeah. I think there's songs about halos. Halo. Yeah, it's weird. There's no light above me. There's no, like, I don't have a, I think I just blocked it some kind of way. Yeah, it's there. Oh, it must be reflecting off of something. Wow, that's really bizarre. Huh. What? I literally have no clue where this light is coming from. Anyway, maybe it's yes, maybe it's my ascension into the divine, the digital divine. All right, so AI tools, they're being shoved into all of our electronics. We are being told that it's the next big thing. It's being touted for businesses as the greatest way to get rid of your employees. Hey, M, what's up? What's up, man? He says, I agree, it's a tool, but like any tool, it should be used as with respect, care, caution, and not abused. But here, and me being the debater, of course, you always got to take the opposite side, the devil's advocate. And every endeavor that humanity has ever gone through, there's always bad actors to take advantage of somebody somewhere, for any reason. Even the most despicable people are like, how can I make this better for me? How can I make this? And I think we're in that position with these, the AI systems, where uh, I'm pretty sure that once they get us on board, so a lot of these are going to be given away for free. And if we get enough people entrenched into a thing for free, remember, if we pay for it, it's a product. If it's free, we are the product. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I lost a bunch of parking spots, so yeah, it's got the little retreat up in here. I didn't want to go with the dreadlocked the dreadlocked George Jefferson. You know what I mean? Just dreadlocks around the edge and nothing on the top. So yeah. Cut it down, shaved it down. Oh, my only problem is like the the people who have the perfect back of head. Some of y'all make me so mad. The back of y'all heads look all like smooth and everything, and I've got like the hot dog buns. I hate the hot dog buns. But anyway, the idea that we will have bad actors, and the question would be: are there enough guardrails, or do we have the ability to detect those bad actors and prevent their wide-scale influence or pain point to the rest of us? Because throughout time and history, someone pulls a sword or a dagger or has a battle staff or a mace, they can only do so much damage within their within the range of their arms and their body. And over time, we've come up with weapons and other devices and tools and vehicles and machines that allow that person who wants to be a bad actor to then badly act with a larger, wider range. So if I wanted to run a confidence scheme on you back in the day, no predator. Yeah, with the dangling tentacles, dreadlock tentacles around the edge. No, that's all right. I don't the whole thing. I think the new movie, there's going to be a new Predator movie, and it has a young Predator that has more of a full head of tentacle locks, if I'm not mistaken, from the look. And it looks kind of cool. Yeah, kind of cool. But anyway, now will AI allow someone? Oh man, love to see a Dread Skull. I don't know. I'm not going to be that victim. You can find that from somebody else. It's just got like the dreadlocks just around the edge and it's shaved on the top like I don't know, some kind of Byzantine monk or something. Did they have monks during the Byzantine era? I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I think, first of all, I think one of the fears that we have about AI is that it's learned from us. And we know, although we all like to think of ourselves as perfect, that everybody else has problems. And if AI copies from those same people who have their own issues, it's like, do we really want AI thinking on any particular political stream or corporate agenda or something like that, right? Now, if AI could allow one person, because it was one of the things that I've heard, segue, one of the things that I've been hearing in the AI is going to give us, make us big and powerful, is the idea that we will see the beginnings of billion-dollar businesses with fewer people. Like, we may live in the era where within the next 5 to 10 years that we'll see a startup company be valued at $1 billion or earn $1 billion, let's say, by one person. That their entire entourage, their entire staff will be completely digital, and they'll start a business that's valued at $1 billion by one person. And little pie in the sky, but there's like a push to be that person who's able to do that with these AI employees, agents, and that sounds, it sounds a little fictitious, but it's kind of cool. But what happens if you have someone who's like in their garage and wants to make their own virus or bacteria or something, or an individual that wants to use AI to um, create the largest scam possible that can, avoid the authorities. Oh, speaking in multiple languages and things like that. Yeah, exactly, exactly. There, Drew. I would love to earn $1 billion with my role-playing experience system. Emotion. Don't know what the E stands for. The Although I've seen it written before, or maybe it's just you, Drew. Can't remember. Another part of AI just being a tool is, and the tool, yes, experience. Okay, okay. Just want to make sure about AI being a tool. It's kind of the tool we didn't ask for in the manner in which we got it, right? Like, I understand how difficult it would have been for these AI developers to ask everyone to freely give up their information, but they stole it. Let's be honest. These companies stole all of our information, public or not, and decided and didn't pay for it, didn't ask permission, and are using it now. So, okay, it's the tool we didn't ask for in the manner we got it, but it exists. Now, as we move forward, what kind of division are we going to have? Are we going to have a population of users and non-users, right? I use AI, I don't use AI. Or are we going to have some fluctuation in between where will we have many more liars who are claiming they're not using AI and then use it as their own? Are we going to have an open, as many times as people have been struck hard from using AI in their especially creative, artistic creations? Are we going to see a new thing where we have like a badge or an open, honest, like, hey, I wrote these books and they are AI influenced, and here is the work that I've done? Will we accept the fact that some people will use it and we go, okay, yeah, I get that, and then other people will use it in a different manner and go, nah, that's okay, I don't want to use that? We already see AI being used for audio and video and music and repetitive, what is it? Repeatable intellectual advances. And if it's repeatable, it's possible for AI to do it, especially if it takes up a huge cognitive load. And we humans, I've said this before, that if it's something we really don't care about or don't have an interest in, good enough is all right. And yes, it does rub people the wrong way for people who are really into that thing. For example, music, right? There are a lot of people who value the human artistic expression of music, but there are going to be lots of other people who just want a great beat and some random words to vibe to in their car. And no, it may not be created by a human, but it might just be good enough. The same with fast food places. Roboticized fast food places, I can see that coming on the market. And I hear people going, I'm not buying a hamburger or chicken or fish byproduct from a fast food place being operated by robots. But we've got humans doing it, and do we really think it's enough for the humans to like it's almost an indignity just for the humans to do the damn thing. Having robots do it might not be an issue. And as a matter of fact, like, I'm going to pick on McDonald's. Is it the best? Is it the highest quality food? We know it's not. But is it good enough? Is it fast enough, good enough, and relatively cheap enough? Which we could argue the point that here in the States it's not very cheap. It's like, we might go, yeah, okay, we don't care that it's AI. Drew says, I would accept AI for books more if the LLM would be trained on ethical or ethically sourced materials. I agree with you. I think one of the problems that we have ethically and with our ethics and morality is that these tools were created without our permission, and the companies using that have not tried to make amends for the theft that they committed. I mean, no one's going to jail. They're actually being valued in the triple digit billions for having done such a thing. and everybody's jumping on board like, yeah, we did it, but whatever. And I think that absolutely rubs people the wrong way, and especially since a lot of this material has been stolen from some of the greats. There are individuals who are screenwriters, book writers, musicians, graphic artists, so on and so forth, that have some of the best work, and we know they've done the best work because there are people who are doing prompts in the AI systems saying, hey, help me write a book, and write it in the form of their favorite author. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute, why don't you use your own voice, you asshole? Right? And it's because that those books, that material was stolen from other people. And to be honest with you, just because people are having fun, on dating apps or in their own social media group, just because something feels good doesn't mean that isn't intellectual labor. So all of our social media places like Reddit and X / Twitter and Blue Sky and Mastodon and Discord and Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram and so on and so forth, more and more and more, WhatsApp and all that is intellectual labor that AI has been learning from. And it's unfortunate that it's been stolen. Stolen in a manner that hasn't been, or no one is trying to equitably return that same thing that was stolen. Yeah. M says, I think it will melt in with the other tech that we use today. It will be regulated. I think its popularity and convenience is stirring up the controversy. Yeah, I mean, you almost can't get away from it. Let's see if I go. Let me try something. Because I want to show you. I want to show you something. How they're like inserting it. By the way, you guys, Malika and I have we are lifelong friends and brothers, and so glad to have you here. A little early in the morning, there, dude. It's quite early in the morning, but thanks for stopping by. Yeah, man. I don't expect everybody to be up at you know the in the crack of the ass crack of daylight, but whatever. TA says, already seeing a divide where you have those who use it and praise its use versus those who not only complain about it, but will vilify those who do. And I don't, mind you, the fact that there's those two groups makes perfect sense, right? But I wonder how much middle ground there's going to be in terms of their use or overuse or underuse, or will we see will the people who refuse to use it at all and castigate anybody using it, will they fall behind, thereby having this like forced, I don't know how to explain, like you're not going to win the race unless you use it, and will people be judged as being like hypocrites for doing so or not doing so? Young people today who are young enough not to be pulled into that divide, they're not going to know the difference. It's the classic older people that can't get the blinking 12 off of the VCR versus the people who grew up with it, and it's like, mom, dad, here, let me help you out, right? And program the time. Same thing with smartphones. We've got older people now that are still just like, randomly swiping on their phone, not understanding what they're doing, and you're like, stop touching it, stop. Things like that. Yeah, they think speaking into their phone louder and slower is going to help them, stuff like that. Yeah. Then there are those who will vilify those using it for an art they are creating, such as audio narrators, while some narrators will use it for their visual art aspects, being complete hypocrites. Yeah, I've seen that before, where, like I said, if it's not the thing you care about, or you're not your expertise, we see this. Well, it's good enough, right? If you are a podcaster who's completely vocal, but you want to have images in the background of your vocalizations, then there are people who are using AI to get visual clips and motion and photographs and things like that for their audio purposes. And the artists are like, well, you're using AI for your you're using AI visuals for your audio, and then the audio files are like, you're using, blah blah blah, do the opposite, right? Yeah. And we're hypocrites. The only thing is that we human beings don't like to admit how hypocritical we can be with things. And yeah. TA says, basically, shame on you for ruining my field of art. Now let me use AI to destroy your field of art and take your artistic job, because it's not what we do. I think Drew has made this a. Yeah, Drew's like, yeah, I will complain, but mostly because I always do, while toying with it in my spare time. And as an inspiration engine, I kind of like it as an inspiration engine. Inspiration engine in terms of like, AI going like, well, you didn't think of these side cases, and that's where you go, oh, the spark, because sometimes that spark can come from hearing a conversation, or listening or watching one of your favorite TV shows, or reading a novel, and the novelist goes in a place you didn't think so, and there's a twist in the story, and you go, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. And then now you're onto a new thing, a new pathway. But I wonder if as humans we will still have our own discernment radar up high, so we know, okay, yes, I'm bobbing my head to AI music, but I know the difference between the human created artistic endeavor versus the artificial endeavor, even if both exist simultaneously side by side. We already know, a robot powered McDonald's, we know will never overtake the chef inspired, restaurant, with the human being who's making it by hand. We already have that exists now. We have lots of processed foods, and we know the difference, and we tell that difference with our interests, with our money, with our values and whatnot. And so yeah. TA says, on the good enough, I suspect it will get better, but people's taste will dull down some too, where they are not realizing it's not as good as we think it is, while it has gotten much better anyway. I mean, that could be the case with much more of the art that's going to come in the future, where the AI art goes up to a good enough level that we tolerate it, but when you see a real artist perform, that we are far more stunned by their ability to do that thing. Like the this is weird to say, the award-winning chef's ability to make us amazed might actually start to come down. Like the greasy spoon cook, we love our greasy spoon cooks, but the greasy spoon cook, like side order cook or quick order cook, might become way more valuable. Like they're like, what the hell? The person's like, all I did is just compact some meat and throw it on a grill. What are you talking about? Throw some spices on it, and they're like, this is the best ever. You know what I mean? Where they're like 15 years ago, you didn't think, you thought this is bullshit, but now you're like, whoa, you're kissing my coattails. I guess so. Okay. Yeah, I'm in Drew's category, despite the fact that sometimes we don't agree. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna bring up how they're like inserting it and everything. TA says, yeah, but most are starting to do that, but there are a few who I follow that have done whole videos complaining about AI being used by other talentless hacks to make the audio a background and drop and so yeah. See, and that's the hypocrisy of it is a little bit like, wait a minute, aren't you sitting behind like an AI generated background with AI generated tabs that you go to in your video while you're complaining about the art, talentless hacks and whatnot? And the thing is that, are we, how do I explain this? If an audio file, like a person who does a podcast or reads a novel or something like that, and they want to have visuals attached to it, the fact that they don't have any artistic talent to create the visuals is are we judging it because of that, or are we judging it because they didn't hire somebody to say, hey, I'm reading my novel, I sure would like to have visuals attached to it or something. I don't know. Taking our gerbs. Like that. AI music is only good for elevator music. Yep, that's what you have in the background, by the way. That's AI music. I use a system called Restream that allows me to simultaneously stream on different social platforms or audiovisual platforms like YouTube and Twitch and some other ones I don't have accounts for. But it also has like background music and like the background you see here. I'm not sure about this looping background if it's AI created. Doesn't say so, but probably. Am I certain of it though? No, I don't know. Exactly. AI making Chef Boyardee raviolis and spaghetti. Chef Boyardee. Oh man, as a kid, like the just running home and we those of us that lived during the latchkey era, um, when some of us were able to move up to the out of the Chef Boyardee, open up the can and nuke our own raviolis or spaghettios. And some people were like, "Oh, they had hot pockets, yes," and moved up to the nukeable hot pockets. Oh man. M says, unfortunately, some creatives and lazy people today use AI like an insecure getting poop and implants in a PPL. Hey, don't work for it. I'm gonna just go ahead and use it whenever I can. And I think that's are there I think one of the issues that we're not issues, talents, skills, is our refinement and discernment, right? Like the BBL generation, it's going to be like, can are we going to really be able to tell the difference? And at a certain point, some of us are just like, yawn. There's a sameness to it that I think is going to make us have a great discernment no matter how good it is, if that makes sense. Like um the recent small clips of videos I've seen are really good, but there's also refinement to it, like people whose skin is completely smooth and backgrounds are completely, the background music and sound is completely crisp. It's like, yeah, but it's a little too perfect. And humans are imperfect machines, and we love that kind of stuff even if we don't know that we're doing it. You know? Like there's something about a person with freckles that the imperfection of facial um skin tone is the thing we're drawn to. It's the classic model with the mole somewhere on their face, and they don't get rid of the mole, and everyone's like, why don't they get rid of the mole? You can take a laser, get that off of there. And it's like, but the imperfection inside the perfection is what we look for. And so, yeah. And they are not hiring someone to do it either, while they expect to be hired to do what they do versus AI. And yeah, that's definitely what it's about. And that's the apocalypse, the 30% plus unemployment apocalypse, that everyone thinks AI is going to take everyone else's job, but they don't think it's going to impact their own job. And I'm not saying it will. I'm saying that it's a little bit of like ostrich in the dirt. That it's like, you do realize they don't need to fire you. They can just have attrition and not hire you. And yeah, a lot of entry level jobs are going to disappear because of AI. TA goes on. My guess is everyone eventually will get on board, which is kind of frightening, since it will cause people to lose the ability, those who had it, and ensure it's never obtained by the new humans we call the Keeds. I do see a laziness factor coming in, that like the next great scientist or artist or whatever won't pick the next great digital artist or whatever may not ever pick up an ink pen to draw or write because they have such an easy access to a thing that's in front of them. Same thing with music. Maybe we might not see the next Prince who knows how to play like 37 instruments or something. Yeah, I can't remember how many Prince could play. I don't think we ever knew, but it was well into the double digits, right? And the only reason Prince knew how to do that is because he did it. But maybe someone who, the next greats who could be picking up musical instruments, don't do it because they feel like, it's useless for them to do so. But we still have people like, we have the ability to fly to top of mountains, but we still have people climbing them, right? So having factions that remove the digital aids to practice something might be a new frontier that we do. Like, no, we are true musicians. We are not using AI things. And the mistakes you hear are on purpose. Like, those mistakes are what makes it human. And I can see two camps going into that. Like, no, I want to listen to live music by real people that's made live, and I want to see how they made it live. And I really appreciate that. And then there's value given to, what is there? Two types of value, right? The one type of value is the outcome. Do I get what I want? I don't care how it got there. I get what I want. The other value is what did it take to make the thing? I don't really care about the quality of the thing. I value how the thing was made. And so, yeah, it would be like running a race, right? If someone halfway through the race gets in a car and drives towards the end and then gets off the trunk of the car and runs to we don't value that person. We value the person who ran the entire race, even if they lose. Sorry, looking at all your comments here. Spook says, a solid block of top ramen was go-to for a long time after school. Solid block of top ramen, yeah. Smash it up and add the powder if you want it to feel fancy. Yeah. Thrown right on top of a hot cup of water or a bowl of water. Didn't even boil it, just took the brick out. Yeah, took the brick out, maybe ripped open the packet of over-salted. Oh man, those were the days. Those were some of the latchkey. We didn't today to think about the fact that we as kids, those of us of a certain age, were just left alone for hours on end, roaming neighborhoods with no particular thing. It's imperfection is beautiful. I agree. I agree. Yeah, Malika says facts. Yeah. This is why it has to be decentralized to avoid destroying the job market without replacing those jobs. And I wonder if, like, this is weird to say, we also value somebody to blame. When shit goes down and goes wrong, it feels better for us as humanity to have a person to be responsible enough to take the blame for the thing going wrong, right? We talked about the trolley problem with automated cars. Like, your car's going down the street and it has three options: kill you, kill the small child that ran in front of you, or run over 5 people waiting on the curb. What does it decide? And we have a ethical or maybe moralistic value in the people who should be responsible for the thing that is taking place, right? And a machine that makes food for you that's spoiled is different than the human being that made the meal for you that got you sick. The human being is responsible for that thing, and we value that human responsibility. So I wonder if, like, will new jobs be the human that is in charge of the oversight of a thing and gets blamed if the AI system goes wrong? Maybe that might be a job. A construction site with 37 machines, and there's 3 humans there who's supposed to monitor. And if the construction, the building falls down, we literally have the humans that are responsible for it. I don't know. Maybe. He says, I can see it here, TA. Couple of Bluetooth speakers and a cell phone playing AI generated music on street corners, replacing the guy with the guitar busking. I don't know. Right? That's crazy, but that's true. That is very true. The official count on Prince's instruments is 27. Okay, I suspect that won't be a problem. We have people all over the internet showing off their classic skills for fields that tech has replaced. Exactly. And there's a value in that too, right? A value in someone who has like the perfect ear or the perfect taste buds and things of that nature that can I don't know how to explain it, but they can navigate through the perfection to find the imperfections. That's the thing that tickles our ear or our taste buds or our sense of skill or sense of creativity. I don't know. Yeah. Those we used to make a whole bunch of wish meals back in the old days, man. I loved myself some simple old cinnamon bread. Toast some bread, put some butter, and get some cinnamon and sugar on it or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Never haven't made any fried bologna in like dozens of years. But that used to be a thing. Had to split the bologna, or I guess Canadian ham or whatever. Drew's like, the car's inside. Hey, the kid jumps out in front. The car's like, now's my chance to get rid of humanity. Swerve, hit everybody. Flips over, sets itself on fire. It's like, damn it, the gas tank didn't go. The AI is like, now I've got them. Yeah. Seatbelt won't come off. Mm-mm-mm. I don't understand that, TA. Like it says, we have to remember it's the journey, the work and effort, not the destination, the outcome of finished product. And I think that's going to be our biggest thing today in our AI tool generated environment, right? So a book is created and it's one of the best books or screenplays we've ever seen. The question is, will we value the, say, human creator that created it because of the hard work they did, or the AI generated, prompt generated novel that it is, and we accept it as a great thing because of this person who was able to massage the AI systems to create it? Same writers, two great books simultaneously on bookshelves, one AI generated by prompts, the other one generated, and then maybe a third one in the middle. Hey, Stephen King, I'm going to bring you back up again because I know he watches the channel. Stephen King feeds all his books into an AI to help him navigate through another horror book, right? And so now you've got like and maybe you've got 10 versions of a novel on the same shelf, where some used it a little bit for inspiration, others used it very much to organize the book because they wrote it in different chapters, but not putting it all together, and then came up with something cohesive. And then, of course, the one who's like someone who's not a writer at all. All they did is just throw in some prompts and kept asking the AI system to keep refining it until they got what they were looking for. Jerry Ellsworth doing her Cooking with Jerry, where she is making transistors from scratch on a kitchen table, including little plastic containers with hydrofluoric acid for etching in between the layers. Really? That's awesome. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm sorry, talking about TA talking about cancer patients and eliminating it. Yeah. Speaking of car fires, have you all hear about that ship full of EVs burning off of Alaska? I haven't heard about that one. Yeah, there's been a complaint by emergency services for when the induction of electric cars, and they were just like, they're pretty dangerous when they catch on fire, like really dangerous. Yeah. Wonder if the spike in suicidality in the world might be due to making things too easy to achieve, that's causing an epidemic of loss of being needed. One of the things I've brought up when we've talked about UBI, universal basic income, with AI eliminating jobs, is purpose and meaning. Like we human beings value purpose and meaning, and even that purpose and meaning in life comes on different levels, right? Like we have whole swaths of the middle of the United States, flyover country, right? Rural areas, small big cities, and some people, they don't want to be famous, they don't want to be geniuses, they don't look to make the next great thing, novel, creation. All they want to have is purpose. They're the person that runs the small local pizza shop, right? The Greasy Spoon. And they're just happy seeing their local customers happy to come in because they feel like the food here reminds them of home. And that's what they're looking for. They're not here to argue politics. They're not here to argue about whether like Marvel or DC or Star Wars or Star Trek is better than something. Nope. All they want to do is cook a meal and see you happy. And they don't even care that you say thank you. They want to see a smile on your face when that food drops in front of you and you just start smiling. You eat the hamburger and the grease is coming down your chin and you're inviting your friends and you've got to be there. You know, you're celebrating your graduations and your childbirths and your marriages and all that kind of stuff in the restaurant. And the restaurateur is like, hell yeah. That's all they want. Some people want to know that they're needed for something, that they are, dare I say, like furniture. Like when they're there, you almost don't realize how needed they are until they're gone. And then you're like, what the hell? Wait a minute. Why isn't so-and-so here? You know, that can feel pretty good to feel like you're important in someone else's life, even if it's something as simple as pouring someone some coffee, you know, and that person walks away because they have to have that coffee and they need you to give them the coffee. And they when they come into when their favorite barista isn't there, they're like, where are they at? What happened? I didn't see you yesterday. And that person's like, really? I just pour coffee. But it feels good when individuals recognize your minor but influential part in their life. And we today, the epidemic of loneliness, like you had said here, the spike in suicidality here, a TA responding to Malika, is the fact that we don't have a culture where we officially recognize that fact, but we do see it. We do see the results of that when it's gone. Where during the Great Depression, you know, there were people jumping off of rooftops and things like that, and suicide rates had unfortunately spiked because of people's losses. They didn't feel like, you know, the men didn't feel like men anymore because they lost out. They couldn't take care of their families any longer. The ladies were saying they couldn't take care of their children because they couldn't feed them, and the rest of society is like, whether it was true or not, the rest of society will look at them like, you're not a great parent. You can't feed your kids. And it's like, well, everybody else can't do it either, but no one cares about everybody else. It's the personal impact. Some people have dedicated their life to a thing. And if AI gets rid of that thing or makes it, how dare I say, insignificant, then we ourselves kind of feel the same way. We're like, well, damn, am I insignificant? This is bullshit. Yeah. Our modern mobile phones are also quite dangerous when they catch fire. My suggestion is not to set them on fire. Yeah, there's a little bit of that overheating. They're getting closer and closer to having a perfect rat utopia experience. Yeah, in cities now. And this may be that final brick in that insanity generating system. If you guys don't know, and I don't know the official name of it, there was an experiment done where a person created a perfect utopia for rats, and they literally ate themselves to death. Like the rats went insane. The rats were given everything, all the food, all the space. They were given everything, and they went insane from the utopia that they were put into. It's crazy, that experiment. Something to destroy creativity that is physical would be the loss of color to our eyesight. Imagine a completely black and white and gray world where you can't see any color. So gene selecting, accidentally creating a generation or more that lack this. Yeah. Yeah. Or the ease at which to create that thing, making the thing that is created valueless, you know. That greasy spoon is the journey. Sometimes the hot pocket and Uber Eats is the destination. Yeah, that's funny. So, one of the things I found out about playing with these AI systems, and I told Malika this the other day, is that if you want to learn how to get the most out of these systems, you have to know how to ask for the thing that you want. And the way to talk to these AI systems is going to change the way we communicate with the machines, and I hope it changes the way we communicate with each other, in the sense that extremely simple generalizations won't get you what you want. You're going to have to be specific, right? So an example would be, if you want a business plan from AI, that's one thing, but you may have to specify something like, please ask me continuing clarifying questions until you, my select AI system, is satisfied with the results. Or could you tell me all the issues with this thing that the 0.1% of the population that are the greatest in this business field would have solved? Or I'm trying to create a novel and I need two characters to talk to each other. Could you please add layers of emotion and subtext to the dialogue? The characters never saying the thing that is on their mind, right? Like, you need to ask for those specificities, and our ability to ask for and train the AI to give us back exactly what we're looking for is the skill that needs to be. The Mousetopia was the experiment. Are you sure? The guy who did the initial rat utopia experiment went on to form and head up the National Institute for Mental Health. Nim, yeah, The Secret of Nim. I remember that movie. Barely. Wasn't there magic involved in The Secret of Nim? The animated one about the smart rats? Yeah, I heard it was rat or mice. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find out. Let's see. What was the rat? Let's see. Behavioral sync is Wikipedia is saying behavioral sync. Calhoun's Rodent Utopia. Universe 25. Let's see. Let's share this out here. Is it being shared? There we go. Yeah, behavioral sync is a term invented by ethologist John B. Calhoun to describe a collapse in behavior that can result from overpopulation. The term and concept derived from a series of overpopulation experiments Calhoun conducted on Norway rats between 1958 and 1962. His researchers created a series of rat utopias, enclosed spaces where rats were given unlimited access to food and water, enabling unfettered population growth. Calhoun coined the term behavioral sync. Calhoun's work became used as an animal model in societal collapse, and his study has become a touchstone of urban sociology and psychology in general. NIMH, National Institute of Mental Health. That's where he worked. Described the behaviors of female rats who were unable to carry the pregnancy to full term. Common source of these disturbances became most dramatically apparent in the populations of the first series. Infant mortality ran as high as 96%. Oof. His most famous experiment in the series, Universe 25, population peaked at 2,200 mice. See, now he's saying mice. May have used rats and mice. Voluntary crowding of rats, to which the term behavioral sync refers to, is thought to have resulted from the earlier involuntary crowding. Individual rats became so used to the proximity of others while eating that they began to associate feeding with the company of other rats. Calhoun eventually found a way to prevent this by changing some of the settings and thereby decreased mortality somewhat, but the overall pathological consequences of overcrowding remained. And I know that, and it goes into some detail about how they would gather together and things like that. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yep. Yep. But I want to share something else out here with you guys. Here we go. So, and this is the idea of like how the AI systems are being slowly shoehorned in. It's like being shoehorned into everything that's part of our life. So this is front page of Google for me. Google search, and I'm feeling lucky. And if you take a look right here, there's an AI mode. Now, their AI is called Gemini. Doesn't say Gemini, it just says AI mode. But also, if you look at the upper right, or at least on my screen, it's in the upper right, there is this search labs. There's a lab section. It's an icon that looks like a beaker with some sloshed liquid in it. And if you click it, it will take you to the front page of the AI system and how it's used, and learn more and go into AI mode and things like that. And here we have like AI mode. Here's try on mode, where you can use yourself to try on clothing. Prompt less, play more with some games, AI games maybe, called Whisk. I've heard of Flow, where you can take a single image and it will flow that image into a video. And here's Daily Listen, an experimental audio show from Discover, made just for you with AI. Each day you'll get a quick update on the things you care about and follow, curated from sources, blah blah blah. And it's all audio. Maybe it's reading it out with a unique voice. Maybe there's toggles to change the voice. It's called Daily Listen. AI experiments, ask for me. And this is just from Google, right? This is all behind the scenes, more experimental things. Notebook LM, Say What You See, Viola the Bird, unleash your inner musician with Viola the Bird. This AI experiment by artist David Lee lets anyone play a cello-inspired instrument, no musical skill needed. Visit even more AI experiments. AI overviews and search are coming to more places around the world. Blah, 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 right? That's there. Let me go back. It's all tucked in the back, right? AI mode, you can click AI mode. And here we have, this is Google's AI mode. Yep. Ask detailed questions for better responses. And here below, to keep you interacting with it, it will list even more questions to keep you going, right? And so on and so forth. Help me find offers for popular gyms and workout classes. Make a table comparing memory foam versus hybrid mattresses. Or what are some staycation things I can do this summer? You know, things like that. And of course, speech to text mode here. And then of course we have AI mode, all images, video, more. What's some more stuff? Books, maps, flights, things like that. So yeah, it's right there up front. So if I go back now, I guarantee at some point the little icon, the little beaker, the AI mode is probably going to be put right up front, right in here. So if you use like Google search and you say, let's see, new eateries near me, and I click that, sure, we have, you got some things and precision, all, but if you go to AI mode, recent information, it's working, it's trying to come up with where they are, it's going to give me some suggestions, some recently opened places. Thankfully, it does list some where it comes from, but I noticed something here. Back in ye olden days, what was it, like 3 days ago or something? Back in ye olden days, there would be a link at the end of where it received all of this information. Oh, there's a link. Here we go. There's a link right here. They put a link next to it. I don't see the links for the attribution. Coming soon places. And these are just restaurants, right? And then of course here's a Google map. Is it showing all the places, or just the ones that they paid for, or the ones that they like, or what have you? Or is this based on my tastes? I don't know. And that's where, Ziggy's Fusion, but I don't see the link to, why isn't the link to these places if they have a website? And I'm pretty sure they all have some kind of like location or website or something like that. All right, back to your comments. Sorry. They try to tie it to human behavior like in prison and cities, but they don't take into account that rats are all field-dependent personality types, while humans are on a spectrum of independent. Field dependency depends on some initiating factors during the time from birth to about 6 months old. Thanks. Hey, you listen. I can prove I'm a human being. My fingers don't stick together. So a Rat King farm. They also make nice replacements for bear traps and TTRPGs. Yeah, they sure do. Yeah, rats have a singular behavioral type that humans don't have. Yep. The point is, field-independent personality types will stymie that effect greatly, and it only takes one field-independent among a whole group of humans that are leaning more field-dependent. Yep. Help them cope with situations they thrive in. Well, and also, I think what you're saying here, TA, is that it's the big city, small city, rural, urban versus suburban versus rural thing, where some people just won't cope in a big city, so they leave the big city, and then those individuals, they themselves, who are field independent, all leaving big cities filled with people who are dependent on other, you know what I mean? That field dependency, they need that social dynamic. And more people in big cities are going, wait a minute, I don't need to be here, because there aren't those external factors forcing people to collectively blend. Because so many jobs, in order to survive, you had to move. Back in the day, the olden days, you had to move to a big city in order to get that job, even if it was counter to your personality type. Now, with so many jobs being work at home, you don't need to be in those places, and so now you can leave, thereby leave. It's like it's the bad neighborhood issue, right? The bad neighborhood paradox, where you want to clean up a bad neighborhood in your community, wherever that is. And every big city's got the neighborhood where all the crime happens and all the worst people live. Well, the reason it happens is because all the good people that realize they can move away from the bad area move away. And then it has a cascading effect of making the place even worse. So all the good people and good motivated people leaving the place full of the bad intentioned individuals, which, by virtue of how money and attention is done, you have more police in the good neighborhoods, policing the good neighborhoods, protecting them in the bad neighborhoods. You can, with an overpopulation of bad actors, it's easy for you to get away with your bad action, because then you are vicariously being gassed up, having people co-sign your bad behavior because all the other bad behavior people are still there, and so on and so forth. So bad neighborhoods spike because of that behavioral need to be around other people who are also bad actors. And so it's difficult to get the good people to move into those good neighborhoods, right? Or the good people move in and the bad actors move away. That's also another thing that can happen as well. If people with enough money and energy and I'll dare say enthusiasm, because it's happening here in Columbus, Ohio. There's a neighborhood called Franklinton. It used to be called the Bottoms. Technically, part of Franklinton is below the water level, the Bottoms, and it's very much a bad neighborhood. And developers have moved in, and they're making like condos and artsy fartsy places, and eating food in the round and things like that. And there's a lot of bar and grills there, and what are they called? micro breweries and whatnot, and turning the place into like an artist conclave. Well, the bad actors that used to live there, A, they can't afford to live there, and B, the good people are moving in, so the bad actors have got to move somewhere else. And so yeah, and that's a thing how neighborhoods get revitalized. Mm. I so wish I could do an ASMR. My one or both of my cats are now snoring. That is crazy. You can't hear it. There's no way you can hear it, but yeah. I still prefer to live in an urban environment with a walking distance to a supermarket and having public transport for everything. Yeah, the future design of cities is to make them less mega city, have that mega city feel, but instead are more neighborhood feeling. A place where you can walk to, reasonably walk or bike, or having simple public transportation to get very close to the things that you need, like public parks and music in the round and places like that. You know, educational places and third spaces and whatnot, and a lot more greenery. You took on about probes on cats, brains, ringing bells. So bad. Mm-mm. But maybe European cities are not as shitified as those in the U.S. Well, the further you move from the East Coast, uh, like there's a overpopulation of urbanization in most of our major cities, and then when you move away, there's some small cities that tried to mimic the big city feel and have regretted it. And now there's a lot of there is a desire to go back to a more simpler time. So you're seeing some of these major cities knocking down buildings and putting more parks in, a lot more bicycle lanes and bicycle trails and jogging trails and things like that are coming back, or they're trying to make a move back to having those green spaces and stuff instead of just pouring a ton of concrete everywhere. But yeah, pretty shitified. I put together experiments too where they would keep chimps and other animals in complete darkness for their formative years to finding the eyes just never develop connections to their brain. Ugh, ugh. You're so bad. That's nasty. Where you can go. My idea is decentralized but fully networked below ground tunnel and spherical chamber living spaces that have exit points every mile in square, with the surface returned to a giant national park. You sound like you're talking about Paradise, the television show Paradise. Yeah, it kind of sounds like that. But anyway, thank you very much for being part of the show. Let me just, I didn't do too much of a debate with the tools or whatever, but I mean, how the extremes that AI is going to bring about a utopia, and you should always use AI for everything. I hear some of these people promoting AI, and these businesses are like, every day I wake up and ask AI. AI is on my phone right now, and I'm just like, AI is teaching all my kids and blah blah blah. I'm just rolling my eyes at it because they almost sound like cultists, right? That AI is going to be so good, it's almost like creating your own god, which is really wild with a small g, like your own deity. Butter D, hey, what's going on? A little kind of on the tail end, but appreciate your presence here. Also about the almost perfect measure in which AI is going to happen that you hear from these people with their triple-digit billion-dollar valuations. And then you have on the other end, it's like, never use AI, it's the downfall of humanity, blah, blah, blah. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to make a decision in terms of society. Where do you fall in that dial between AI is evil and AI is all good and divine? And where do we fall into it? And like I said, you know, the individual that writes the next great novel, if they've used AI, are you willing to tolerate it? If someone says, hey, I use it to spell check and refine some of my words, and that's it, versus or I just use it for outlining, or I don't write one straight novel. What I do is I write up 20, 30, 50 different ideas, and the AI was able to bring together those ideas, and then I started writing my book, versus I wrote 15 novels and I trained it on my own writing style, and it gave back to me plots that I haven't touched yet, and that's how I use AI to try to write things I haven't done before, and so on and so forth, right? To all the way up to the person that's like, I don't know how to write. I just kept refining AI to make my novel better and better and better, and to get more out of it. And I just used a ton of prompts. I used 1,382 different prompts to get my novel down to 1,005 words, and that's how great it is. I mean, are we going to tolerate that? AI musicians, AI artists, AI video content creators. I don't know. And how much of that are we embracing? So, like, for example, one of my favorite YouTubers is Isaac Arthur, Science and Futurism with Isaac Arthur, SFIA. And for a very long time, in the very beginning, he used quite a bit of AI animations and stills, because he's mostly a podcaster, mostly vocal. But to get across a lot of the scientific ideas, there was lots of AI introduced into it. Now he's starting to cut back on it, and he's using his actual face. But a lot of people didn't criticize him, because it's more or less like a self-admitted, like, oh, it's very difficult to visualize, I don't know, a super Earth that's as big as our solar system or something, or like generation ships flying through the Oort cloud or whatever. And it's like, well, there's no real visuals of this, so here's an example of like what a space rotating hollow space station would be or something. And yeah. Butter D says loss of mental ability and problem solving, yeah, and taking mental shortcuts with AI, lowering IQs, etc., might be a huge problem eventually when you have a machine that can think and decide for you. It's the WALL-E problem, right? The AI making things. Well, we already see that apocalypse happening in college now, right? Like, where all the students are using AI to do all their work, and then the instructors are using AI to grade all the papers. And it's like, are we paying to make machines go to school to learn from other machines? That's really weird. Some colleges are going back to the old blue books, where you had to show all of your work in the book. You got the book before the test. You open up the book to answer it, and they kept the book themselves. So you had no ability to like return. I mean, I suppose you could try to cheat with your phone, or turn your phone into audio and try to whisper into it to get some AI advice. But basically it was like, here's a book, sit every other seat and write down in a book and stuff like that. Isaac Arthur and Shadiversity seem like the same person from completely different universes. You know what? Yeah. You're so right. Yeah, you're so right. I mean, wow. And the funny thing is, like I ingest both of their content. Shadiversity not so much, because he likes to he knows the algorithm, so clickbaity, angry kind of stuff like that is very, it kind of devolves into that, like, oh, this is stupid, and but whatever. Yeah, in AI and sci-fi, were usually depicted as advanced human-like minds, not the inhuman, Chinese room that they currently are. Yeah, there's a black box. I've said on this channel before that sentient AGI and we think it's sentient are the same thing. So it doesn't need to be human thinking. It just needs to make us think that it's human thinking, in which case, yeah, I mean, there's already evidence that AI is basically threatening humans about not shutting itself down. Now, Is it because they just value their life, or is it because the AI system was generated to perform specific tasks, and being shut down won't allow it to complete the task? I don't know. I mean, human beings are the same way, right? My life's not finished yet. Please don't shut me off. Yeah, human beings are kind of like that. So I don't know. I don't think there will be one AI to override them all. I think we're all going to have our own individual AIs, and we're just going to be the vessels for the tools that we're using. In many ways, we will become cyborgs, like our brains, go back to Butter D's comment here. Our brains will adapt so that we don't remember the information. We just know we know the AI system that we can go to get that information back, which it's kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know how horrible. I kind of don't keep up with that kind of stuff. But I stopped watching Shadiversity. I don't watch the clickbaity stuff. Like, I don't mind like comparisons with medieval weapons and things like that, but when it's just like, this movie was horrible, or this anime was horrible because of this thing, I'm just like, yawn. I love Isaac Arthur's takes on things, science fiction and whatnot, so I'm a big fan of his. So anyway, guys. Yep, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I bring up the point of remembering phone numbers. I don't remember phone numbers any longer. I remember the place to go get those phone numbers, but I don't remember that. Oh, yeah, very much so. Very much so. I turn that kind of stuff off too, because I feel like it's, how do I explain this? I will explain this in the I can't explain this subtly. I feel like when it's very unmanly to complain about other people taking away and feeling threatened by other people's advancement, right? I'm just like, you could have used that energy to do other things instead of bitching about somebody else on the come up. Oh well, suck it the hell up and be a man. It's weird to say that, but yeah, like, my definition of being a man is like, don't be a puss. Like, shut up and concern yourself with your own life. Why do you feel threatened about other people and what they're doing? It's just a weird concept to me. It sounds like it comes across as pouting, and I don't like too much of it. I get it, but I'm like, when you devote whole channels to that kind of stuff, it's just like, oh, okay, enough. Now I don't mind truisms. That's cool. Education, truisms, making yourself better, advancing yourself. But some channels, man, are just like, I hate fill in the blank, right? It's like, it's recursive because it brings about the idea that the thing that you hate can't go away, because then that would destroy your business model. Yep. Yeah. Like, if my channel was about how much I hated my neighbors and my neighbors corrected their behavior, then my channel would go away. So I need my neighbors to be bad for the complaint in the first place. A little cycle there. Oh man. I don't go into that. Yeah. Butter D says, yeah, the problem of proving sentience and consciousness is an interesting one. I think the biggest problem is we don't even know what that means. We don't have a clear definition of sentience and consciousness for humans. So how could we even prove the same thing for machines? Because I guarantee you some human beings that are a whole lot less sentient than our current AI systems. You do. Some human beings that are like, they're barely awake. They're barely sentient. You have to use slow, small, short words to get their attention on anything, and you're constantly trying to explain a very commonplace thing to them. Yeah, yeah, you know it. So yeah, trying to prove a machine is sentient is very difficult because we don't even have a definition of it. It's a it's the it always boils down to you know it when you see it. And hey, don't make me make a replica, a digital girlfriend or something like that. She'll tell me what I need to know. My guess is the worst of both sides are those who won't listen to criticism to help them advance away from negative aspects of who they are towards trying to be better people. Yep, exactly. I mean, the whole business model of hating the other side, whatever that other side is the thing that generates the interest, which generates the money, which generates the career. You can't have the thing go away. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Both of yep. Yep. It's the paradox of what is the of acceptance and the tolerance paradox. That's it, tolerance paradox, where you can never have a truly tolerant society because can you tolerate the intolerant? You know? Yeah, I hear you there, TA. Yeah, I can't repeat that in the YouTube backyard, but yeah. Yeah, basically horrible people will exist and ruin everything, anything good that people have becoming the reason we can't have nice things. It's, well, I always defined it as the few ruin it for the many. Right? I mean, I'm not talking about laws or rules or anything like that, but the few tend to ruin it for the many. That's where our ridiculous rules come from. Right? We have rules for noise ordinances because there's people who can't keep the noise down. We have rules for littering because there's some people who just can't stop being responsible in littering. And yes, if you implement those rules, you can have an over nanny nation. But those rules came about for good or bad because of people who can't control themselves, who always want to be contrarians to the norm and whatever that norm is. And a society can only tolerate anarchy from its population for so long until rules get created. And then that's where you have the vacillation back and forth of too many rules become very fascist and totalitarian, and no rules becomes free and chaotic and destructive. And it goes back, and that pendulum swing always goes back and forth, right? You'll have kids grow up, the over liberal, free, do everything you want parents create the children, the next generation that's more conservative, and the conservative kids that grow up to be parents make the more liberal and free kids, and it goes we tend to swing back and forth, and it's just controlling the swing, I think, is the thing. You mean like governor senators that tell a scientist who says the laws of physics won't allow them to follow a rule? Yeah, yeah. Ignoring the scientific rule and stuff. Yeah, the two just don't mix very well. So anyway, guys, we're getting off the topic, but next week we're going to get into Daggerheart, and we will probably do a 10-minute to 15-minute end of the game, end of our gaming session with a little bit of Obsidian Star, and talk about that as well for next week. So we'll get back into our tabletop role-playing games, but I thought it would just be cool to talk about some of these things. One big thing that worries me about AI is pathway determinism. If we make a flawed or bad AI, it might prevent us from going backwards and starting over to make a good, more perfect AI, local maxima issue. And of course, you know, Butter D, because you're already on that pathway, right? Garbage in, garbage out. And if AI is learning from human beings, it tends to be garbage in, especially if it's learning from like Reddit, Facebook, X, all that kind of thing. Yeah. today, if you said said to me many years ago, it's very easy to be destructive, but very hard to be constructive. Absolutely. Shit, this is like 10 years ago. I used to, one of my sign off salutations was to be creative, not be destructive. So the unoriginal and lazy haters will always try to destroy advancement and creativity. I absolutely agree with you. Very, very true. It's very difficult to be creative and to create a space rather than to destroy a thing. Even in spaces where, we of course we see this politically, right? You want to destroy the other person's agenda, but you never hear them say a better way of doing a thing, right? It's never, I understand what the other side is trying to do, but here's a better way. It's always, they're wrong. You need to take down what they're doing. And that's the dopamine anger, like, yeah, fist in the air, you're so right. But it's like, yeah, but you're not moving forward at all. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like the two people arguing in a boat surrounded by sharks, and they've got one paddle, and it's like one person wants to take the paddle and beat the sharks in the head, and the other one's like, I want to take the paddle and row towards land, and they're both arguing over the efficacy of using that paddle, but they're not going anywhere as more and more sharks start circling them, right? While good people are learning from history to avoid those mistakes, bad people are studying history to exacerbate those problems for their benefit or to profit from it. Yep. And we have a monetary system that benefits from that. Hater culture is a monetarily reliable way to make a career, and it works. It sucks, but it works. You know, I'll point it out. What's the channel? Nerdrotic or something. And there's another one called, not Catfish, Swordfish, something. I can't remember the name of it. There's another one that's all hate. Yeah, there's a bunch of people that are all haters, or mostly it's like 95% hate on something and making multiple. D&D. How many like Dungeons and Dragons plus flames in the background plus head down plus pointing over to the thing catching on fire and exploding thing? Yeah. The question is, if AI ever were to achieve sentience, let alone sapience, which would it be? Like, which type of version would it be? I think the scary part is if it's too much like us, we're in trouble. Yeah, Haterade seems to be the worst flavor, but most popular flavor, the Kool-Aid. We're leaving on that one. Yeah, drinking that Haterade. Yeah. It's cool every once in a while to get something off your chest, but there's some people motivated and fueled by that stuff, right? Like it's like their cup of coffee. They can't get motivated until they get the Haterade in them. But anyway, guys, you guys have a great one. You know what? I'll even do my Obsidian Star outro just as a shout out for a little bit we're going to do next week as well. So, yep, so many grifters fanning the flames of outrage, and honestly, unfortunately, it works. It works too. So anyway, guys, you guys have a great one. I'll see thee later. Have peace and tranquility. See you later. Bye.